they're playing with, or something, that if people don't know who they are, it helps them. Okay, I just lost the picture altogether, but I'm not worried about it.
Amazing match point. What athleticism.
And there you have it, your APTA national champions.
Best match of the year.
Brilliant shot.
Incredible stuff. And it's sitting up and he's right there.
Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live from the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois, bringing you the Chicago Charities, a Grand Prix event, which is the fourth stop on the 2022-23 APTA Tour, sponsored by the APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors, Paddle Pro and Fusion, and local sponsors, Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, Fusion, Wintrust, and Viking. I am Patty Hogan, along with Mike Mo Morrison, bringing you the women's semifinals between Roxy Anika and Gabby Nicolescu versus Liz Cruz and Marcella Redesno. Mo, welcome, and can you identify the players for us?
Welcome from Chicago. It's windy and kind of crazy here. The players on the far end of the court right now, we've got Liz Cruz. I think from the camera here, she's wearing the white visor there, along with her partner Marcella Redesno. She's got on kind of the gray visor, and then on the near side here, we've got Roxy Anika playing alongside her partner Gabby Nicolescu.
Yeah, let's take a look at the draw, Mo, and see how these players got here. This is semifinal from the top half of the draw, and Anika and Nicolescu powered their way through. They were the 2 seed. And they took out Bodman and Mattel. They took out Caravaggio and Fizz en route to the semifinal appearance. On the other side of the draw, Cruz and Redesno took out the rising team of Kira and Lalich. Mo, that was I heard that was an amazing match.
Yes.
And this semifinal matchup, Mo, is just going to be one for the record books because these are 4 of the game's best players, Mo, in our sport right now.
I agree, and they're going to be battling not only themselves, but some of the elements. I mean, I don't know if you can see from, being online here, but the wind is blowing. Everything's kind of...
The wind's, yeah, it's going to be blowing. These main draw matches are 2 out of 3 sets.
Yeah.
And, Mo, when we look at these players warming up their serves, we have national champions everywhere you look. You have Liz Cruz, who's a national champion, women's.
Right.
Redesno's a national champion. Nicolescu is women's national champion as well several times. And Roxy Anika, 3-time mixed national champ. So
That's loaded.
when you talk, Yeah, it's loaded. You talk about the game's best players. You know, there's 4 of them right here on this court together, Mo.
This is going to be exciting. This is going to be
And
exciting.
Mo,
Go ahead.
yeah, oh, Mo, on the onset, I just want to point out one of the teams not here. We just wanted to shout out to the family of Amy Shea. Father's passed away, and the celebration of his life is today. So that's why we didn't see the team of Shea and Sutter, who are number 3 currently in the country out here in Chicago. So our thoughts are with Amy and her family.
Yeah, God bless.
So, Mo,
Yes.
Chicago, the Windy City. What the heck happened overnight there?
I mean, it is true to form. Excuse me. When we showed up today, you know, there were some tents out there that were, you know, all set up with, you know, showing up some nice stuff. And when we showed up this morning, they were all torn and ripped up and tangled. So, the Windy City is proving form here. It's pretty rough.
And what's the temperature out there in Chicago today?
It's around 63, 64 degrees. So we're still going to get some action off the screens. It's not as cold as sometimes you would figure in the first week of November.
Yeah, and Mo, the Glenview Club, just a wonderful backdrop in the sport. How many events have been there? They do a great job. There's a good shot of the expansive parking lot, and the clubhouse is further down that road. Just a beautiful setup, and I mean, throughout the day, all through the night tonight, this place is going to be rocking, watching the game's best players.
Fun stuff. They have done a lot of improvements to the parking lot, and they put out a new deck, you know, some fire pits, and it looks really, really nice out here. They're constantly improving. It looks great.
Mo, you're a successful guy. You give me my favorite hats on the planet, my Midnight Paddle. Great stuff. You have a company out here in Chicago, and with the growth of platform tennis, I love how there's so many vendors like yourself who have found a place into this market in like a remarkable way. And congratulations to your company, and
Yeah.
keep the paddle love coming.
Thanks very much for saying so. We're having fun with it too, and there's some new people, you know, emerging, and I think there's some nice camaraderie going on, and it's just a nice place to be. It's a good group of folks having fun with it.
Frank Willard, I don't know if you know him. He's going to be the umpire in this match. And I'm not sure if he's going to go up in the chair or not, Mo. What do you think?
He's going up in the chair. I don't think that's a good idea today.
And that's due to the wind conditions. So a little less than ideal when you're standing on the court having to call a match. But I'm sure Frank knows what he's doing, and this will be really fun to watch.
Frank's a pro. He's the 5th pro on the court. We're in business.
There you go.
We're getting to the point where we're starting to warm up the serves here. And see some
Yeah,
folks are doing the underhand serve, which, you know, seems to be a newer thing to see these days. It's effective. It stays low.
Sure, Anika really uses it as well as anyone in the women's game right now. And I mean, in the Montclair tournament, that huge event run by Micker Doya and amazing group out of Montclair Golf Club, Roxy was just on fire with her serve, and her whole game just elevated right in front of everyone. And you know, that'll be curious when we think about this match. We have 2 players from El Salvador in Redesno and Cruz who have known each other since they're 10 years old,
Wow.
playing against the 2 Romanians, Anika and Nicolescu. They all know each other's games really well, Mo.
Yes.
Cruz and Nicolescu won the Nationals in 2019, beat Chicago's Lauren Ben and Roxy Anika in the finals. So they're all familiar with everyone's strengths, weaknesses, and then it's going to be a chess game, Mo. And
Sure is.
you know, everyone knows about the power of Nicolescu and Anika, and you know, Cruz, I heard, was magical in her play yesterday with Redesno. They played together about 5 years ago, reached number 4 in the country, and there's a lot of moms out here. The team of Redesno and Cruz each have 3 little kids, and Anika and Nicolescu each have 2 little kids. I'm sure they're all watching from home.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, there's a lot of representation from a lot of different places here. This is really neat.
So the Cruz Redesno team, matching outfits out there. Cruz is currently over in that ad court, and Marcella's right in the deuce court. She's got that X on her paddle. Liz has a red and black paddle.
Yeah.
So the Nicolescu overhead in any match seems to be one of the defining shots, Mo, that could determine the outcome of this match. I think serving is going to be key for the team of Nicolescu and Anika. And I think, like, the return of serves, Cruz and Redesno, I see them maybe teeing off a little bit because, I think they're going to take advantage of the shorter serves.
Okay.
And I think the wind could play a factor, Mo. You said that, like, I don't know if you can see it on their tosses and stuff, but you can see the wind in the background a little bit, and that could factor into placement of lobbing. And, I think the team of Cruz and Redesno are awesome lobbers, and, they're going to have the willingness to play long points and maybe slow down play. And Anika and Nicolescu, they're going to stay upbeat. They don't take a lot of time in between points, so it'll be interesting to see who controls the tempo, Mo.
And it's always fun to see how it gets started right off. You want to see what kind of strategy they're planning on. Sometimes you can feel it right from the beginning. It's be interesting to see. I don't know if everybody, can you hear the wind gusting? I mean, it's.
Yes. I can feel the gust,
yeah, trees are bending behind us here. Kind of wild.
It's good you have that midnight paddle hard hat.
That's right. We're officially.
Yeah, that's our umpire talking, Frank Willard.
Okay. Getting started. You hear that? I know.
Yeah, those at home, the benefit of hearing the umpires, we're gonna hear the wind as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so Mo, all the players warmed up. We'll be underway shortly. Everybody's got to figure out, what jackets to wear, what to take on, take off, what to put on, and how to kind of keep their bodies warm. And, the wind can affect them as well. So these are all veterans. They all know how to play.
It's reminding me a little bit of last night. I mean, there were matches that, with the weather, they had to call it a few times. And at the club here, you'd hear the loud sirens, meaning that there was lightning in the area. And so these players now, I think, are a little bit used to kind of coming and going and dealing with the elements. Yesterday was a good test for it. We'll see how they pull it off today.
Okay, there's Liz Cruz in the white jacket.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball the other side. It looks like we're about to be underway, and it looks like Anika will serve first.
Anika's serving up. Here we go.
Players ready, play.
Good serve. Patty, I don't know if you've ever known, at the beginning of the match, you kind of set the tone sometimes. In doubles, a strategy, sometimes people think that,
15.
when you're receiving serve on the first few points, maybe you want to go, not intentionally, but go at the net person to let them know that you're willing to go down the line, and it makes the net person aware that, poaching isn't such a great idea because I'm willing to go right down the line. Simple things like that at the beginning of the match sometimes stay in people's heads, and it starts working with your strategy. Done that before.
Totally agree.
15-30.
Let's see if some of these players do that.
Yeah, and I think the down the line shot, return of serve is really going to be, I think it's a really smart shot, Mo, from the very beginning, because it makes your opponents aware that they have to cover the whole court, not just the cross-court return of serve.
Yeah, it'll make them, they feel like they're going to have to watch the line a little closer if right from the beginning of the match that they're aware that opponent's willing to go there.
Yeah. Great shot near court, white jack. That's Liz Cruz. pro at Saddle and Cycle, moved from the Patterson Club in Connecticut out to
15,
Chicago.
30.
And her partner is Marcella Redesno. Marcella is the director of rackets at the Easton Racket Club, also in Connecticut. Marcella won the nationals with Macy Elliott. I mean, in 2020 in Darien, Connecticut. On the far side, Mo, it'll be interesting to see how Nicolescu and Anika set themselves up on the court, because each of them loves to take every overhead, get themselves in the left position at the net.
You can hear that they're doing a really great job of communicating, you know, yours and mine right off the bat. This is exciting.
Yeah, Nicolescu and Anika as a team will hit more of those roller overheads than any other combination out on tour.
Okay. Wow, that's a great winner.
30, 40.
Just hammered into the screen.
Yeah, that's the Nicolescu overhead we spoke about. She gets in that position and she just unloads, loads up from her legs, generates so much racket speed, and hits that shot straight ahead and flies out. You can see Redesno expected it. Cruz and Redesno have a play for that, and it's Redesno take off and run.
Yep.
Game, Cruz and Redesno.
Okay, we've got a break at the beginning of the match here.
1 game to love.
And so this
Toweling off their grips. It must be a little wet out there.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's sprinkling.
Yep, you know, I was just going to say, we talked about it briefly in our little pre-match chat. You know, serves are going to be a huge factor for Anika and Nicolescu in this match. You know, and they kind of tend to be a little bit streaky with their serving. When they're on, it's great. When they lose a little confidence, just like everybody on the planet,
Sure.
not so great. And we'll just see if Cruz and Redesno can capitalize. I think Cruz and Redesno pretty solid servers. You won't see that many faults from them.
Okay.
Unless we do the announcer's curse and Liz dumps the first one at the bottom of the net.
We don't do that.
Cruz and Redesno, number 4 seeds.
Cruz serving first. Here we go. Up a break.
Yeah, bright pink and bright yellow or green. That's Nicolescu. One of the forces on the women's tour. Possesses the most amazing overhead forehand that you'll see in the game.
On that point, I was quick to see that after Nicolescu's, or after Annika's, return right there, Nicolescu was quick to close in and take advantage of potentially a weak volley. It's smart following that aggressive return.
Mo, I joke about with Nicolescu and Anika, sometimes when they're on fire and they get it going, Nicolescu will offer like the hardest hand slap that Anika has to be careful, and sometimes she'll put her hand low so Nicolescu can't hurt her wrist.
Yeah.
Yep, right away, showing a different formation.
Yeah, I want to give the opponent a different look.
30 all.
Give him a different look. You know, usually you'll see people do that formation against the Nicolescu return to serve. Not as much the Anika. Again, you saw Nicolescu, that bright pink vest, let that ball drop really low and just rolled it. And the better you are, the lower contact point will just lead to a more evil, lower bouncing ball over into that corner.
Yeah, and with that topspin on it, it just grabs the screen and stays low. When you're able to do that, it's tough. Okay, a break back. tied up at 1.
Enica, Nicolescu, games are 1-all, first set.
So far, it's tough to hold.
Yep, and I like the pressure that you could see. Nicolescu and Nika sort of just were a little forward inside that baseline. I think it caused Cruz to kind of actually look up and maybe force a volley error.
That's tough.
We mentioned when we went on the air, Derek Yost from Philly's wondering how come the umpire's not up in the chair. And all we have to say is, Derek, it's the Windy City, and it's windy, a little bit hazardous
Yeah, it's
to be
dangerous
up in
up
that
top.
umpire chair.
Yeah.
Derek was one of the umpires last weekend for the Philly cricket event on the tour. Did a great job on a beautiful warm day from Philly last weekend.
Night and day, weather-wise. Patty, are you seeing the lobs being affected by the wind and the weather so far? What do you think on that?
I think they're playing fairly safe lobs.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what you would do on a windy day. You know, look where there's the most blue and lob toward a lot of blue.
Right.
And, you know, when you're feeling it, like yesterday I heard Cruz was just sensational in her lobbing placement. And you know, she was feeling it, so she could almost go for the lines with lobs where you're going to have to see them play a little bit safer shots here today.
Yeah, she was able to have, be aggressive with the lob, which is a nice thing to be able to do, but it might be a little more difficult today to feel you can be safe with an aggressive lob. We'll see.
And that's where the wind hurts a team like Cruz and Redesno more, because they rely on the lobbing to open up their court, to create their offense, where Nicolescu and Anika just have the ability to pull a trigger. It'd be like one-shot wonders, Mo. They only need one shot.
Yeah, the
Where
aggressiveness.
Most people need a combination of shots to set up their
To set
offense.
it up, correct.
There's a great lob, and they
Yeah.
give up the net. No big deal.
It's fun to see Nicolescu's aggressiveness, after she knows that Anika's going to make a drive right here, so she looks to move in and take that potentially weak volley out of the air. It's fun to watch. Working well as a team.
You'll see Cruz hits almost like a cutter on her forehand return to serve. You know, she doesn't come over it with topspin.
Yeah, I think it's, you cut her, not so much a slice, but it's a cutter. I think that's a good word for it. With good control.
So in an article in the New York Times from yesterday about, in the women's game, the use of like the cutter on the forehand mode that you haven't seen for years, it all went topspin.
Yeah,
Exactly to Cruz's style.
it is. We've got our first hold so far here, so we're on serve.
Yeah, so that's big, Nicolescu, just so in case you don't know her, I mean, Nicolescu is just one of the game's great fighters. She plays every point. Love watching her competitive ability throughout, like every point in the match. And she may go up and down or become a little more emotional, but she's a grinder. She'll never, if the match is going south, not try a little bit of everything. Makes her a great player.
Yeah, that's great.
Love.
It's a really nice return.
All.
When you look at this match, Mo, and you had to pick a winner, You know, it's tough to go against Anika Nicolescu in this match, given their success from last season. They were finalists in the APTA National Championships. They won Philly. They finished 5th in Short Hills and finished 2nd in Boston. They won Montclair, had a great run, beat Elliot Redesno in the finals, Theo Williamson's in the semis, Curtis Andrakova in the quarters. I mean,
I think I know where you're going with this.
yeah, but
Tough.
that didn't
But,
stop.
right, here it
Ara
comes.
from the paddle boys picking Cruz and Nicolescu. Just felt that, you know, they come into this match and they have a lot of defensive skills and abilities that can take away, you know, some of the offensive weapons that Anika and Nicolescu, you know, put out there.
Yep.
And I just think the wind is the mitigating factor on that today. When you rely on those lobs, like we said, and hit kind of slower hit balls, sometimes it's a little trickier to gauge your shots in the wind.
30 all.
That was a weird miss from Redesno right there, Mo.
Yeah, I think, well, you know, with all that backspin on it, I think it just kind of, when she hit that volley, it just kind of took a dive to adjust for all that.
And right
There
there,
it is
that's
again.
Nicolescu.
Okay, she's got that. Good duck.
40, 30.
Yeah, I was going to say Nicolescu has that return serve from the deuce court, probably the best in the game currently, arguably one of the best in the game currently with the women. And, you know, Cruz let that ball go by because she knew that they can run that ball down. She hits it so hard, even on a windy day, you can run it down off the back screen.
Yep. Here comes the Anika return. I mean, they both have massive returns. There's a hold. Tied up.
Game Cruz and Redesno. Games are 2-all, first set.
Mo, we talk about, you know, which team is it more important to get a good start?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Cruz and Redesno, because when you're a little bit of the underdog in a match, if you can keep it close on the onset, all of a sudden, the other side who, you know, walk into the match expecting to win, you know, a tiny bit of, oh boy, this is going to be a war creeps in. And all 4 players knew this will be a war.
I think we're at that point right now, too, because Cruz and Redesno were giving each other the, you know, nodding their heads up and down. They're happy with the way things were going after that last game, so I agree. I think we're getting into a battle here.
Yeah, you saw Nicolescu tee off on that over it.
Yep.
Looked like he was trying to block it and not let it go in the screens, but that didn't work out well, and that's the problem. It's so hard to defend if you let it hit the screen, but if you try to block it, it's almost impossible to control, especially with the wind.
During the point.
I think they're discussing if, you know, if someone's hat or visor flies off, what are they to do during the point? I think that's the discussion point right here. They're just going to get it straight between everybody.
That'll be an intentional distraction.
He's spot on. It could be intentional. You never really know.
But if it falls by itself,
yeah, it's okay. I mean, if you fall it by yourself, we have
They might need a special exemption, wind ruling.
Right, for the Windy City. But Patty, typically, if that does happen, you do continue to finish the point, correct? It's not something you would take a let for, right? Okay.
Thanks to our streaming here out in Chicago with Matt McClure and crew. There's 2 channels. You can go back and forth, watch some of this semifinal as well as the other semifinal with Hanish and Zabori playing against Sakura.
15 all.
And Morgan.
And Mo, anytime you can get updates on that, I would love to hear them.
I'll take a peek over there occasionally, yes.
So we're at the Glenview Club. We're in the semis of the women's event here, the Chicago Charities, the 50th. Is this the 50th Chicago Charities, Mo?
Big 5-0.
Big 5-0. I remember the Big 5-0 a few years ago. No, only kidding. And
A great shot into the net.
38-15.
the bright green hat, pink vest, pink and black vest, that's Gabby Nicolescu. Her partner is in all black, Roxy Anika. In the white jacket in the deuce court, Liz Cruz. And in the light blue jacket, returning serve right now, Marcelo Redesno. I'm Patty Hogan along with Mike Mo Martin from the Glenview Club.
I think it's interesting that Cruz will take that, not let that slam shot hit the screen, because if it does, it brings her all the way up front. So she's choosing to take it right off the deck, and it's working.
Sorry.
Yeah, how she handles that is going to be the key to the outcome of this
ongoing.
match.
Correct.
Game, Cruz, Redesno. They lead the first set 3-2.
So another break of serve, Mo. On a second time, she didn't hold serve, and the underdog team, number 4 seed of Cruz and Redesno, have an early 3-2.
We started off with a couple of breaks, and now we're all, everybody's been holding serve so far. On this break right here, it'd be nice to mention here, for the past 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, vast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands, and for more information, you can go to paddlepro.com.
Hey, not only paddles, pickles, tennis rackets, sneakers, all your kind of gear that you can't get on midnight, you can always get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on paddlepro.com.
They've got it all.
Yeah, you can see Cruz stayed back on the return to serve. Marcella's stuck her paddle in there to kind of help out a little bit.
Yeah, Nika snuck in.
15-30.
I like the move. Like they said, there's no surprises between these 4 players.
And you mentioned they've all played against each other in one form or the other over the past few years, but it's still, you've got to get used to the match you're in right now at this moment, and I think they're starting to feel it out.
Yep.
I'm going to try and cut down on the unforced errors right there. 30 all points. They're big points.
Yeah, you can see the wind on that ad-court corner as Anika gets ready to hit that return to serve.
Yeah, you can see it and hear it.
Yeah. I think her miss on that prior return to serve was a little wind-related.
Okay.
Phenomenal lob from Redesno.
Yep, another hold by Cruz. Patty, we've got an update on the other semifinal right here. If you'd like to hear it, let's get it out there. Hanish and Zavori won the first set against Morgan and Sikora, 6-1, and they are now down 0-1 in the second set. But that first set went, or 6-love on the first set. It went pretty quick over there. As an update. Here it comes. The low roller is tough.
Love, 15.
Yeah, right now, Mo, don't you feel it for Cruz and Redesno?
I was just going to say, I'm feeling there's a little momentum on this side, I believe. And maybe it's time for Anika and Nicolescu maybe to slow it down just a little bit. You don't want momentum to get too far away from you. But it's tough when you're seeing returns like that.
Yeah, that was a big rip. Redesno's known for, she's got a two-handed backhand, amazing screenplay. She can bring it on her forehand, and she just did.
Yeah. With really great control. I mean, you can see it's just calculated.
Well, I think sometimes players are hesitant to attack Nicolescu because she's so great.
Mm-hmm.
She's got amazing hands, but you've got to make everybody prove it under, in every circumstance, under all different conditions. Wind, rain, whatever it is, you got to test them.
There it is again. Cruz won't let that hit the screen. She wants to control it right off the board. And doing a great job of it so far. Geez, that wind is crazy. Patty, aren't you tempted to try and go around the net post just because on some shots like that?
I
Just
think she
because
can't
it's
believe
fun.
how much more time she had to get that ball.
Right.
I think she just pulled the trigger too fast, and you're right. If she could have waited half a second, always easier from my chair.
Right. And it is kind of a thing in platform tennis in general. I think you have more time than you really think. When balls are into the corner of the screens, or if you're feeling. Typically, you don't have to rush too much. There's more time than you think when you're trying to scramble and get the ball back in play.
Yeah, so
Takes
Nicolescu down
practice.
15-40, Mo, on her serve here.
Okay.
Down 2-4.
Right.
See if Cruz mixes up a return to serve here.
Just playing the safe there. It's a big rip.
38-40.
Another
Yeah, and
break
that's where
point.
you can see Nicolescu let that ball get so low, and that's why it's so tough to defend before it hits the screen for Cruz. So twice, little drop shot to pull Cruz up from that deuce court, which is a brilliant strategy tactically, Mo, because Cruz is playing pretty deep to try to defend the overheads.
I think
So
you're
she's
right.
playing closer to the back screen, so she's going to give up a little bit of coverage in the front of the court near the net.
We've seen it twice this game. Big point. Got another break point now. Okay, 2 breaks. Some steady playing. We've got an update over on the second semifinal match, and Hanish and Zabori are up 2-1 in the second set after winning the first set 6-love against Morgan and Sakura.
Yeah, so Mo, we have separation here, and separation in the terms of the underdog. We were at 1-1, 2-all, and all of a sudden, 3 games in a row, and
up 2 breaks. Yep.
Yeah, something you'll see with Anika Nicolescu. They are an explosive team. And they do go in streaks where when they're on fire, they're unbelievable, almost unstoppable.
They could turn on a dime.
Then it can turn on a dime, as it can with anybody who plays the sport.
Right.
This is Marcela Redesno serving to try to close out the first set.
The momentum is going one way right now, so Anika and Nicolescu are going to try and find a way to change that a little bit right now.
Yeah, you saw Anika sneaking up there into the point. But the volleying of Cruz and Nicolescu really negated her from getting involved in that. And I think that's the other key in this match, that Cruz and Nicolescu know the firepower that they're going to get from Roxy Anika and Gabby Nicolescu, Cruz and Redesno. And I think when they see a setup and there's potential for a drive, I really look for them. You can see them with a lot of footwork, really shifting and closing into the net. Like you don't think of a team like Cruz and Nicolescu hurting you with their lobs versus hurting you with their drives. So you're going to defend the greatest evil.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, the wind affected that from where I'm sitting. You can just see it. The serve came in, and it just got away from Anika there.
Hey, how about kudos to Redesno? Awesome serve.
Yep.
Stretching, really the limits of Anika's reach on the return. Shout out to our buddy from Darien, Carl Lebanon, enjoying the action, watching the positioning. Carl's one of the gurus in our sport. I love talking. I had a great chat with Carl the other day just about the tactics that you'll see and how the teams will adjust in the game of women's paddle and positioning. And you're seeing textbook positioning from the team right here of Cruz and Nicolescu. So fun to watch them. They shift side to side wherever the ball is. It's really clear the moment there's a lob, the player to the left is kind of dictating play. You can see right there, Redesno just backed out of the play and let Cruz take over. If it's over Redesno's right shoulder, coming cross court, she'll hit it. But this is textbook. Carl could do an instructional video right off of this positioning, Mo.
Yeah, they were moving back and forth like they just had a string attached to them, and they're just in unison. It's nice to watch.
Yeah, up 5-2, 40 love.
Got triple set point.
Phenomenal start for Cruz and Nicolescu.
Playing great.
Cruz and Redesno.
Great lob. Under the circumstances with this weather, there's been very few unforced errors. I mean, these points have been won. Nobody's giving anything to the other opponent. People are earning it.
That's a great point, Mo. Most of the time,
Yes,
last
Mo.
person touches the ball loses a point.
Right.
There you have it. Redesno holds Mo to go up 6-2 in that first set. And, I think the biggest intangible is the wind. It's not a player. It's the wind out there today, Mo.
For sure.
Mo, Fusion is a proud partner to the APTA. Fusion curates what's next in branded gear and apparel for your company, your team, or your event. With a team of dedicated industry experts, Fusion curates high-end product selections to customize with your club logo, team name, or corporate identity. Fusion creates a stress-free shopping experience with custom online stores and quick custom ordering to get the gear you need now without any hassle. Visit www.gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion provide you with the gear to fuel your game. We will be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CPTC.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour live from the Glenview Club, Gulf, Illinois. I'm Patty Hogan along with Mike Mo Morrison,
Welcome
bringing
back.
you the semifinals of the women's event between number 2 seed Anika Nicolescu against number 4 seed Cruzan Redesno. And Cruzan Redesno got off to a great start, won that first set 6-2, Mo. And the underdogs seem to be coming through and adjusting to the windy conditions here in Chicago best right now.
Yeah, after that first set kind of started off with a couple of breaks by each team, but after we got to about the 2-all point, Cruz and Redesno just kind of took control, and they didn't make any unforced errors and won those last 4 games.
Yeah,
soundly.
These four women, Mo, we're watching. This is such a treat to have 4 of the game's best players. You have Liz Cruz, who's the new pro out at Saddle and Cycle in Chicago, playing alongside Marcella Redesno. Redesno is the director of rackets at the Easton Racket Club in Connecticut. Roxy Anika's on the other side. She's at New Canaan Field Club, and she's playing alongside Gabby Nicolescu, who's teaching the head paddle pro up at Patterson Club. And like we said, all these women are really familiar, having played with each other, won national tournaments with each other. So the unknown factor in this match was really the weather, the weather and the windy conditions here. That yesterday was the rain. Unfortunately, today the wind seems to be impacting play a little bit. And I actually thought it would impact Cruz and Redesno more because of their reliance on really good lobbing to open up their offense. But they've just played rock solid, and you said no one's giving away. Cruz and Redesno, I don't know how many, maybe 2 unforced errors in that first set.
Yeah, that was the point. I just didn't think that they made any unnecessary mistakes, and it's held true. It's made it really, really difficult.
What I'll be curious about is
for Anika Nicolescu to grab any ground.
Yeah, I think we mentioned coming on air the serving. I thought serving would be a factor for the team of Anika and Nicolescu, and it has proven to be the case. So I'll see how they start off. Anika was the first server for them. She was broken twice in the first set. Nicolescu went 1 for 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nicolescu starts serving the second set.
Yeah, they might be talking about that right now.
You can see the team from El Salvador. They've known each other since they were 10 years old. Marcella Redesno in that ad court. Liz Cruz over there in the deuce court.
Yeah, Liz and Marcella both represented El Salvador in the FedEx competition. I mean, the Federation Cup, Fed Cup. That's tough.
Yeah, so here we go. We have Nicolescu serving to start the second set. Not surprising, and a good tactical adjustment for their team. Unfortunately, she faulted.
Patty goes to say you never want to change a winning game, and sometimes you want to change, a game when it's not going so well for you. That's smart, I think. We've got an update on the other semifinal match. Hanish and Zavori are up 6-love, 5-2 right now against Morgan and Sikora.
Nicolescu and Cruz, tournament number 2 seeds, top 2 teams in the country. But, Cruz has had a lot of early season success. She won the Lake Forest Open with Spencer Caravaggio. She took first with Jacqueline Williams in the Medina Cup. And Redesno, lost in the finals of Montclair to Anika Nicolescu. But, Redesno was playing with Macy Maduris, and they had a great win. They stopped the unbeaten streak of Zavori Hanish in the quarters at Montclair. So, collectively, I think Cruz and Redesno, old friends, Mo, they can rely on each other. It's like me. I know when I go to Philly, I can rely on seeing Mo Morrison.
That's right.
And these guys have that, they are just on the court together, one team, helping each other do whatever it takes to win. And, I think that this is going to be an interesting thing to see Nicolescu and Anika and their abilities to tactically adjust.
Now's the time, the beginning of the second set. You want to get off to a real nice first start. And unforced errors will hurt you there. Try and cut down on those. Got one more quick update on the other semifinal. The match is complete now. Anderson Zabori have moved forward.
Yeah, Henderson
They're
Zabori.
playing tough.
Billy Cricket, oh my lord, just an unbelievable, almost perfect performance in Philly to win that.
There's an example of the wind gusts right there. A fault and losing your hat.
So Nicolescu down, after taking the serve first for a team, down 15-40. This is
Cruz and
not...
Redesno are on their toes. They're bouncing over there. They're ready to go.
Yeah, Nicolescu and Anika, they're going to start scratching their heads trying to figure out something here.
Yep. It's tough. The wind is definitely affecting that. That serve just got taken away. A break to start the second.
Yeah, and Mo, just to your point there, I think the wind took that toss and Nicolescu chased it.
Yeah.
And then because of her grip, the ball went wider than she thought. She was aiming for, to pull Cruz a little wide. But then that wind just took that toss. And that's where, you're going to have to resist hitting that ball if the wind plays a part in your toss.
Yep. Catch it and catch that toss and then reserve it up. Don't go chasing. Is that what you're saying, Patty?
Exactly. Here's Liz Cruz serving far side in the white top. She's got to be the local favorite now that she's moved from the Patterson Club over to downtown Chicago, Saddle and Cycle.
Yeah, the local folks here, we're happy to have her here. Saddle and Cycle, it's a beautiful club.
Oh, well, Cruz is a class act.
Yep.
And no one beats Cruz 3 times in a row in a drop shot, Mo.
That is the third time over there. She did that one well.
So she saw it coming, and she's a champion. She made the adjustment.
Yep.
She lost 2 points on it earlier and just ran that ball down and knew exactly that she was just going to take that shot straight ahead, had her paddle set, and just waited, as you pointed out. She needed to on the other 2 opportunities.
Gosh, that's tough right there. Chase those big slam shots.
Yeah, Redesno got caught over in that 2-score. And I think that's the first time she faced that Nicolescu overhead over in that corner. And the shots do play differently depending on the side of the court you're in.
15-30.
Okay. There was an unforced error. That's rare. 15-30. Nika's going to jump on this. They'd like to get this point, get a couple of break points going for them. It's smart of Cruz to wait for that gust to pass by.
She could be waiting a long time.
Yeah, I know, right? Take your time. It almost seems she's tossing, a little bit lower. She doesn't want her toss to get out of control.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, another equipment failure out there.
Mo, did you bring duct tape?
We did a lot.
You might need it for Marcella Redesno's visor.
Yep. It's a midnight visor. Gonna have to work on that.
Okay. Any other questions? Good.
Kind of ironic. They talked about they knew the wind would play a role in a lot of ways here. Knocking off visor was one of them.
Yep. Even the door behind, the chair umpire, the umpire is blowing open. It's tough.
Umpire just said 30 all. Did the umpire just get blown out into the parking lot, Mo?
Yeah, we're hoping that he makes it back. Here he comes. Okay. Did he get blown out? It's possible.
Got to keep those doors closed.
Yep. 30 all, big point here. Smash. What a return. Really tough.
Yeah, Marcella Redesno took away the cross court, but actually, I think was a little bit too close to the middle, and that kind of gave Nicolescu a lane to hit cross court that then Cruz could not defend.
Yep. This is a big point for Anika and Nicolescu. Get right back into the second set, break back, see what happens.
So this is kind of the pattern, Mo, that you'll see with Nicolescu and Anika. Nicolescu in that bright yellow hat loves being the player to the left from this vantage point. And they'll play a lot of balls over to Cruz.
Net court break winner. Yep.
But they'll have to swing it over to Redesno's corner, and Redesno just rarely misses coming out of those screens. Most of these players rarely miss. But they'll swing the play over to the ad court so that they can swing it back and go and attack Cruz on the ball coming of a lob from that ad court.
Setting it up.
So 2 breaks to start the first set, Mo?
That's how the first set started.
The second set, sorry.
Well, the first set started that way, and the second set started the same way also. Yeah, they're having to they're pausing before they can even start the serve here. It is a really tough one.
And we mentioned that serving, Anika didn't hold serve or 2 opportunities in the first set. She's became the second server of Demon Nicolescu and Anika, and so this is an important game for her psyche, I think.
Yeah. Look at those hands up there. It's so fast. It's so great.
And that's what Anika loves. She loves those confrontations, and I think Cruz and Redesno have to be real careful when you get in those exchanges with the hands of Roxy Anika.
Agreed.
You know, Mo, the tough thing about defending that shot for Cruz out of that deuce court is Gabby's hitting that ball right into her body, not where Liz can easily let it go into 2 screens, which she can play all day long.
Yeah, give her more time. You're right. It's right at the body. She's got to react right at the shot. You're right. Doesn't give her very much time.
So you can see how she's playing really deep, close to the back screen.
Yep. Okay.
You know, some players will adjust where the person will just take off and head up that side screen immediately when you see Nicolescu loading up with her overhead, with her paddle way back and her legs like loaded up, where you know there's going to be an explosion coming at you next. You know, it's just different tactics, different positioning, you know, that players will sort of favor one method or the other. Cruz is, favoring just going back as deep as she can, trying to block it with a real short swing. Beautiful overhead from Anika. Backside shot way out. Desno couldn't chase it down.
Okay, we're back to deuce. Waiting for the moment where the wind breaks to hit that serve. Here we go. Yeah, it's really tough how Cruz takes that right off the bat, right off the smash. With control.
She's very short backswing, very short follow through.
It's really great control. Here it comes.
See, that's...
It was at the body, right? She couldn't get out of the way.
That's the issue. That's the issue, and I think when Cruz sees Nicolescu straight ahead from her, That's where Cruz has to get the heck out of the way and head up the side screen.
Yep.
She's not going to get away with getting out of the way, exposing more of her corner, and then trying to track that ball down. She just doesn't have that speed to catch up to that ball. Beautiful lob placement. You can see Anika knew that she went for a little too much there. She was really pushed back. And she kind of has to wait a little bit longer before pulling the trigger and just hit a ball deep instead of trying to put tons of spin on it.
Oh, slip. Hope she's okay. Okay. It's always scary when somebody goes down like that, but Liz got up right away with a smile. I think she's okay.
Yeah, big hold for Anika right there. She hadn't held in this match, and that she got her first right there at a crucial time.
You know, Patty, it was a big hold, and that last game went back and forth a little bit with deuce-ad, and I like to think of the old strategy. Sometimes after really, really long games where they go deuce-ad, the next game sometimes will be really short, and the team that's aware of that going into that has a little bit of an advantage. And the same thing goes with points that you play sometimes. You know, if a point is a really, really long point, chances are the next point's going to be pretty short. And if you know that going in, it's an advantage you can take advantage of.
Good point.
We'll see this next game if it goes quickly. But they're taking a break right now, so that might not be in effect at this moment.
Mo, you see the lobbing, the height and depth effectiveness of the Cruz Redesno lobbing, not so much in that last game. And that's the problem. When you lob poorly against Nick Gillespie and Anika, you are in deep trouble.
Yep, you're going to pay for it.
Where, the first set, they dictated play with the lobbing, with this win, which was quite remarkable. And, we'll look for that as a way to negate some of those offensive, explosive overheads, particularly coming from Gabby Nicolescu's paddle. Here's Redesno serving. That's Liz Cruz in white at the net. Returning serve, Gabby Nicolescu. From the deuce court, in the ad court, the one and only Roxy Anika. We are at the Chicago Charities, the 50th anniversary of it at the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois. I'm Patty Hogan, along with my buddy Mo Marsden, bringing you the semifinal action.
50th anniversary. We're back on serve here in the second set, 15-all.
Cruz is real comfortable hitting a majority of the overhead. She loves dictating play off it. She'll rarely hit an overhead that will create an offensive opportunity for her opponents. She's much more about placement versus, you don't see her hit a super heavy overhead for the most part.
And her patience is great. You can just see she'll do it all day long if it requires. That last point was a good example. No rush.
Yep, and I think, when they do hit and they see Nicolescu loading up, they're going to move forward so that they have a much better chance on their volleys.
It's a tough shot. What a return. Came in heavy.
Yeah. Yep, and I like Nicolescu. I like people serving her wide a little bit. Just didn't have quite enough punch on it, and Nicolescu just jumped all over it, forced the volley error. So again, they just let that play go through from Renika, ran it down off the back screen, no big deal.
Yeah, I think it's smart.
But this is where that's a good deep lob, pushing Nicolescu way back beyond the service line.
Yep. Wow, that's tough.
Yeah, and this is where, Mo, if I'm cruising Redesno, I would just avoid the pink. I would not lob anywhere near Nicolescu right now because she's just winning point after point, breaking them down over in that deuce, breaking Cruz down in that deuce quarter repeatedly here.
I feel like, yeah, she's grooving on that shot a little bit right now. You're correct.
Yeah, and Anika just was pushed back, and there's no overhead that Anika doesn't think she can hit most of the time, which is great for her confidence, but there she was pushed too far back to really be able to hit a high percentage overhead into that side screen and missed wide. That was a huge lob and a huge overhead error, I think.
I agree. Such great hands up there.
And that's it. You watch them. You think about synchronized swimmers. I always think when you watch a great shifting net team, like the position of Desno Cruz, they're just in sync the whole time, Mo.
They move together. It's almost as if they have they have a string tied between them. Okay, that was a big hold.
Game Cruz or Redesno. Games are 2-all. Second set.
That was a big hold, and this is what you'll see with Anika a little bit. She missed that overhead wide. She kind of got goaded into hitting that ball deep down the middle, and Cruz and Redesno do not care if Anika comes all the way over and hits that shot. There's one woman in the game who can handle that shot, and it's Anna Zabori. Everybody else, it's a little bit out of their reach. And I'm just saying, Zabori's the only one I see who makes it. Everybody, a lot of people try, Mo.
Right.
Zabori makes it. Don't mean to sound like a broken record, Mo, but serving is key for Anika Nicolescu.
Yeah, it really is, and those occasional faults right there. 30-love point.
I think that's why the paddle boys, the real paddle boys, picked Cruz and Nicolescu. I think they just thought that they feel a lot of confidence in their ability to play as a team and ride the waves up and down. And, I mean, they're paddle geniuses, Mo. They know how to pick them. We'll see if they're right.
Let's see. That's a big point. 2-all, 30-all.
It's where Redesno, like I said, I just think they have to get it on Anika's paddle here as much as they can.
40-30.
On serve. That was a great hold.
Mo, when you look back in the women's game, I looking at on the APTA website, resource for all information. One of them I've just pulled up. Since 2016, when Gabby Nicolescu teamed up with Martina Andreikova, They beat Darce and Shea to win the women's final. Next year, Cruz and Anika lost in the finals. Next year, Cruz Nicolescu won it. The next year, Cruz Nicolescu won it. The next year, Macy Elliott, Marcella Redesno won it. You know, every year you see one or two of these players always in the finals of the national championships. Just shows how good they are.
Over time, year after year. It's impressive. Okay, a little I formation on the serve here, changing it up.
Yeah, so
Lob
again,
30.
you just cannot lob to lob. You've got to lob and get it to Anika or push back Nicolescu. You've got to get her way off the net here.
These gusts are heavy right now. The players are having to take a little bit of a break. And I'm feeling a little bit of momentum change, you know, it seems. At this moment, we'll see if it hangs, but we're at love 30.
And I think Redesna's got to stick with her game, and she doesn't need to pull the trigger that early in a point.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of that. That was rare.
But maybe because she's struggling on lobbing right now, she's like, well, maybe I got to bring a drive where maybe she would have more control of it,
Right.
given the wind. That's Liz Cruz down 15-40 on her serve. Down 3-2, second set. As you can see,
Unforced error.
Redesna won the first set.
Yep. Okay, we've got a break in the second here. I know everybody can't see it, but it's tough out here. There's garbage cans rolling around. There's things. It's just really the Wild West out here weather-wise.
Yeah, so gigantic change of momentum.
Right, it's happening.
Yeah, and tactically the move for Anika and Nicolescu to switch serving and get Nicolescu serving first, I thought was a brilliant one for them. And
Such
I
a
have so
great
much, I have such respect for Nicolescu's game, and she wants the ball. In moments of truth, I know Gabby Nicolescu wants the ball.
Yep. No, that's so much wind. It's crazy.
Again, short lob, and Anika her overhead dominated the sport a couple of years ago, and she's no slouch. It's not like it's, any picnic to lob her instead of Nicolescu. But, that's the point. Nicolescu and Anika have so many weapons as a team that you have to defend from the baseline if you're Cruz and Redesno.
Anika was just showing some of her aggressiveness with that forehand overhead drive. A lot of power into the screen. There, it's effective.
But I love that Redesno took off, caught up to that.
Yeah.
Didn't quite make it, but that was huge because it's good she has her track sneakers on out here, Mo, because she's going to need them. She's doing a lot of running, given how Cruz is choosing to defend the overheads here. I think the way they could offset this is Cruz takes off of that side screen and gets herself out of the line of fire when she sees this happening. Cruz moves, a little bit more toward the middle of the court as opposed to going to the side of the court.
It's tough. Okay, the momentum has changed, Patty.
Yeah, monster change in momentum, and I just feel like it comes down to the lobbing, and it's real. Lobbing is brutal in these windy conditions, and it's impacting Cruz and Redesno. But they're pros. All these four women, as we say, not only the top players, they're top teaching professionals in the game. They know all about tactics, and it always comes down to who can identify what moment and where you are in a match, what the other team's doing to hurt you, and what tactic do you need to adjust to offset.
Yep.
So this is Marcella Redesno, hoping to hold serve here, and
it's one break. If they can get a good hold here and fight for a break, they're back in it. But it's a big game. Get off to a good start. Wow. That's a heavy return.
I mean, what an amazing first volley from Redesno.
That was great. On top of the wind, you can see from here that on their jackets, there's some moisture out there. It's spitting a little bit of rain, too, so it's getting a little slippery. You got all the elements happening.
Wow, Anika's got it going on that return to serve. Same spot that time. Redesno couldn't come up with that first volley.
She does. She moves into that return nicely, gets the forward momentum. Wow, great placement.
Again, Anika came to the middle and kind of has that inside-out topspin forehand going big time. So now this will be interesting if the team of Redesno and Cruz can make their adjustments. They're going to have to move their wall of backhands over a little bit here, given that Anika's hurting them on that inside-out forehand.
I'm wondering if it hit. That was set point. This is a big... Okay. Patty, we're going to be entering the third set here.
Yeah, so Mo, big change in momentum.
Sure was.
We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CPTC.
Okay.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We are in the women's semifinals from the Chicago Charities event here in Glenview, Illinois. I'm Patty Hogan along with Mo Morrison, and this is third set action here. Big turnaround for the team of Anika Nicolescu. Won that second set over Cruz Redesno. We're about to start the third, and it looks like they're switching back to Anika serving first.
Serving first. That was a practice serve, though, correct? Okay.
Practice serve. Kind of surprising because
oh, no, they're changing it back, Patty. Check it out. They decided, let's go back to the winning game plan there. And like I was saying before, the beginning of sets are so important, and we're at the beginning of the third set here, so this is the beginning of this third set. See how it gets off. It's meaningful.
That's Gabby Nicolescu in the bright pink vest, serving, moving her partner, Roxy Anika, out of the way.
Yeah.
And a great lob, which we said a lot in the first set, from the team of Redesno and Cruz.
Good.
Poor lobbing, part of their demise in that second set. And, Nicolescu and Anika, lessened their unforced errors. And we're in a third set here to earn a berth in the finals against the amazing team of Flor Hanisch and Anna Zabori. Coming up about an hour after the completion of this semifinal match. Shout out to Robin Fulton, one of our game's great champions, Hall of Famer, enjoying the action from down in the Carolinas.
Patty, we've got another shout out here, and I don't know if everybody can see this, but there are some very brave souls that are choosing to watch this match on the outside. They're not in the paddle hut, and
why, Mo?
That's what I'm trying to figure that out right now. I kind of got a loss for words, but they're warriors out there as well. It's fun to see.
Well, Chicago's one of their towns, Mo. I always love playing the Charities tournament out there. Such great people, warm hearts, always welcome players from the Northeast. And they're hardy paddle people. So, when they come to a paddle tournament, it's not surprising that they're outside. Umbrellas, winter jackets, hand warmers, toe warmers, whatever it takes. They love watching the action live.
I agree. That was nice coverage. Good teamwork. 30-all.
And that was brilliant play from Redesno there, because she's seen enough of that in the first two sets that she's like, forget that. Let me take the middle ball.
Yep.
Instead of Liz trying to defend the middle and her forehand side over in that deuce corner. I think that's a good tactical adjustment if Redesno can do that more often.
I agree. That was a nice switch. Tough hands. Great volley.
Yeah, brutal place for Redesno to hit that ball. Quite frankly, she was caught up in the middle, and she kind of went wide. And with the hands of Nicolescu and Anika on the other side, no way. You got to go to their right hip at that point in time, somewhere on their right side, not their left side. Especially if they can just punch a volley behind you, and there's no way Cruz could go over and cover behind Redesno.
Okay, we've got a hold at the beginning of the third set.
Huge hold. Momentum has swung big time against the team of Cruz and Redesno there. And, the wind, is it picking up or is it steadying out there now, Mo?
It's changing all the time. Sometimes there's a break in the action, and then sometimes, like I said earlier, there's things flying around in the parking lot. There's folks in the cars kind of watching matches out here. It's just hard to determine.
We've got 4 Grand Prix on the APTA Tour. Following this one, we get the Boston Open in January on the 28th and 29th, followed by the Short Hills Invitational, oldest running event in the country. 13 stops on the APTA Tour, 12 live stream, thanks to the APTA and its partners.
This is a big hold here from Cruz. Again, I keep on saying the beginning of sets, but beginning of sets are so important. So
Oh, it's critical.
the momentum changed for him. Yeah, the momentum changed for him at the end of that second set, and I think they really need to hunker down here and get a grip on the beginning of this third set. 15 all.
And after that first set, you could see Nicolescu's level has elevated, and Roxy Anika as well. And Cruz and Rodezno, one of them right now is going to have to kind of step up and try to dictate the outcome of this third set.
A lot of communication going on right now. They're working on it. It's fun to watch.
Shout out to Ellen and John Birchinall enjoying the action. Beacon Hill Club, avid paddle players, parents of juniors who have won national championships. They love the live streaming, Mo, and they especially love listening to you.
It's fun. Bringing up young champions, too. That's great. Man, it's just hammered.
Rodezno did a good job chasing that down.
Yep, they're
Who's over in
scrambling.
that ad court. You know, and that's another thing. These women are great players. They can all play each side of the court almost equally as well, I would say. So they can pull some tactical adjustments and switching sides. Even in the middle of points, you'll see it from deuce to ad and ad to deuce.
Yeah, I've noticed sometimes when players do get changed up on their original side of playing, there's no big rush to switch back. Like you're saying, Patty, I mean, everybody's pretty comfortable in any position.
Yeah, Cruz is just getting crushed right here with that combination. Short ball from Nicolescu. Short lob, Nicolescu crushes.
That's tough.
And then,
Yeah, we've got a break point here. Hold tight.
so Cruz is more of a grinder. She's got to put together a sequence of shots. It's based on really good lob and off-speed ball. Cruz doesn't really rely on the power game. So I wouldn't expect that she could hit her way out of this situation right now.
You see, they both decided to stay back on that serve. There was no point. They knew they were going to go on defense right off the bat, but that's another break right there. So the momentum is continually staying over in Anika and Nicolescu's side right now.
Yeah, so those paddle boys, those geniuses who picked Rodezno Cruz. Uh-oh. They are geniuses, but like we've seen, every paddle match has so many momentum swings, and Rodezno and Cruz are such great champions that they can turn this thing around.
I think I'm going to be reaching out to the paddle boys to find out some future things that I might need to know from them.
Oh, I mean, it's
know,
like
they-
they're psychics practically, Mo.
Yeah, that's great. Here it comes. Oh, ouch. It's a blast.
So you're out there and you're, Rodezno Cruz right now. You're like, oh man, what do we do here?
Yep. This is,
It's brutal.
the old-fashioned, you got to tie your shoe. You've got to take a quick water break. You just want to change the momentum one way or the other. It's just, they're in a tough spot right now. Things are just going quickly. Such great hands.
And that's just vintage Anika. I mean, she's won mixed nationals 3 times and been in many other mixed finals, women's finals, because you just take her on in those moments, and her hands are just unbelievably good.
Yep, she keeps them out front. It's just a quick little move on her part. And wow, I mean, look at that. It's a net court, and she's just managed to adjust just in time to get that volley. So tough.
But I like what we're seeing from Cruz in this game a little bit, mixing it a little bit up. She's thrown more drives in this point, and I think that's what they have to do because the overheads are just getting them killed here. So almost kind of shocking here, Mo. But not really if you see, the success that Anika and Nicolescu have had it as a team. We referred to it earlier. I mean, they're one of the top teams in the country. They played last year, finals of the women's nationals. They can compete with anybody, beat anybody. And, Cruz and Nicolescu, this is the first time they played together in a couple of years. And it's going to take them a little bit of time to find their footing. And, the wind is playing a huge factor, seems to be really hurting them, as well as the fact that the overheads of Nicolescu in particular really impacting and breaking down Cruz shot after shot after shot in that deuce corner. So we'll see if some magical adjustment in a tactic here can come out of Cruz and Redesno down 0-3 in the third set.
Now's the time, Patty, right?
Yeah. The crowd outside and in wants to see it at the Glenview Club.
We've got a new fresh ball, so it's very bright. Everybody can see it. 15 love, using the I formation.
And, paddle fans don't like lopsided sets, Mo. They want everything close.
Right. I think that lob started off nicely, but the wind took it. 15 all.
I sort of like seeing Redesno a little bit in that deuce court just to give Nicolescu and Anika a different look on their overheads.
Yeah, I think it's smart. When things aren't going your way, you've got to try and find ways to change it up a little bit. They're trying.
Yeah, they're going too fast now. They're gonna have to slow it down. It's not their speed of play is not this.
Agreed. All right, let's consider this a big point, right, Patty? It's 30 all right now. They're down love 3.
Yep, and right there, Anika just.
Yeah, well, they can take advantage of an unforced error there.
Yeah, Nika's got to sense this moment in the situation and what Cruz and Redesno are up against, and she doesn't have to hit winners. That's not what. She's not hitting any winners here, and their team is way up and have momentum. So this is where Anika has to just have a little bit more discipline, not force anything. Don't give Cruz and Redesno anything easy.
That's a good point. Smash. Great scramble.
Yeah, Redesno's got speed.
Sure does.
Redesno and Cruz, mom of 6 kids combined. They each have 3 kids. Gabby and Roxy's 4 kids are watching as well. A lot of moms, a lot of kids out here.
That's great.
Yeah, all these women are in their late 30s at the top of the women's game. So fun to watch.
It was fun to see Redesno kind of smile and laugh about that. She just knew that it was such a tough shot trying to get to that. It's fun to see them having fun.
And as a team, Cruz and Redesno just have not matched up against Anika Nicolescu in a tournament. So, there's a period of adjustment, and we keep saying the win is the intangible factor that's really dictating play and styles of play out here in the semifinal match. And Mo, you could just, even Nicolescu and in Nika's communication, I got it, yours, thank you. Like, they're so calm. They are so chill today, playing beautifully second set and just dominating play here early in the third set. Not so early. They're up 3-love already.
Yeah, we're halfway through pretty quick.
Yeah, it's hard to slow down play on a windy day when you rely on really good lobbing. It's part of your team's
Yeah,
makeup.
that's a tough disadvantage with the wind if you're relying on the lob. Good point. And Nicolescu, she's just looking for that opportunity to smash the ball into the screen. Yeah. It's tough. I could see that coming.
Yeah, great camera angle.
Mm-hmm.
Anika had she had her sights lined up right on that nick. So all Nicolescu and Anika here in this third set. We're at the Glenview Club in Chicago for the 50th Chicago Charities event. I'm Patty Hogan along with Mo Morrison. Semifinal action. Women's finals about an hour after the completion of this match. I don't know if you have a definite time when you know it. Maybe you can share it, Mo, once we complete this.
All right, Patty, we had an aggressive lob. It was great. Worked out. Very nice.
Yeah, it wasn't a
and
deep
they're
serve.
smiling, they're laughing. You know, that's what paddle is. They're kind of saying, I know. Like, you know, it's fun.
Yeah, Cruz couldn't believe she had so much open court there. I think it caused a little hesitation in her swing.
Open court and a lot of time, yeah. She didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they've got a break right here.
I agree.
Nicholas.
It's going to take the wind's going to take that.
Yeah, Cruz and Redesno just have gone totally flat here after that first set.
Yeah, I agree, Patty. Since about halfway through the second set, the momentum just changed and it hasn't swung very much. It's just a beautiful volley right there to back it up. You know, I'd like to say one more time with Paddle Pro, for over 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, fast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands, and for more information, you can always go to www.paddlepro.com. They're great.
Liz Cruz serving, gigantic hole to dig out of. Love 5, third set. Earn a berth in the finals against Hannah Shinzabori. Okay, so Nicolescu is human, Mo. She missed.
I just saw that. I agree. She just missed one. Interesting. They've played such a really, really, really great match. Nice volley.
Unbelievable. Great straight ahead volley there.
Mm-hmm.
That's Liz Cruz serving. That's Marcela Redesno tucked down at the net. Nicolescu about to rip another return to serve, and that's Anika over in the ad court in the royal blue vest.
30-15.
Yeah, when Nicolescu leans onto that, she gets a lot of heat on that return. It's powerful. Okay, there's two.
Wow.
40-30.
2 unforced errors. I hope she feels okay, Mo.
Yeah, me too.
No, Nicolescu just had one of those matches. She's just been dominant, in the last hour of play.
Okay, we're going to serve and stay back.
Yeah, Redesno did a good job. She's a little scrappy, good little footwork, little steps, but to no avail. The Nicolescu overhead.
It's just not a shot you get to practice against very often. You know, I mean, when they're that ball coming off the screen so much, it's just a wild thing to try and chase down all the time. 40-30. Let's big point for them. Let's get this game and see what happens. It is a game of momentum.
And you just see the pressure from Anika Nicolescu. You look up,
Yeah.
and unless you close in on those volleys, that ball gets low, and all of a sudden you look up and you see those two women in front of you. It is scary, and it forces errors.
Yeah, it's heavy, right, Patty? It just keeps coming at you. It's a nick. Tough. Heavy pressure.
Match point for a berth in the finals for Anika Nicolescu. Little break. Anika got a little bit out in front on that ball, just landed a little wide. Back to deuce. Nicolescu about to rip another return to serve. Cruz and Redesno staying back, having no part of the Nicolescu return to serve.
Got a little net court there.
Again, they're having success just staying back, so even though it's not Nicolescu, it's Anika. She said some good returns. They'll just let them come in, take the net, take their chances from here. Yeah, Redesno's doing a really having a good point. You can see her footwork, scrappiness, handled the power overhead, ran it down. Huge momentum opportunity here for Cruz Redesno.
Yeah, it was a great way to chase that down. She got there so fast, she was able to hit down in that shot. Won the point, held the serve. This is great.
You know, and that's the thing. You know, in that point, Redesno defended a couple shots, kept her lobs up the line. So Nicolescu couldn't move to her right and then just go after Redesno in that deuce corner. She had to throw the play more cross court. So that's Anika serving, up 5-1. We are at the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois. 50th annual Chicago Charities event. Good pressure off the Redesno return to serve. Took advantage of a little bit less on that serve from Anika and forced an error.
Yeah, she was able to step into that one. It made a difference.
See, if I'm Cruz, I'd be running right now for that ad court and call a switch with Redesno.
Here it comes. Oh, okay.
Wow.
You said that, Patty. Human.
And we talk about how low she lets that ball drop. That time it got too low, and that's definitely a wind effect type of deal.
Yeah.
But it gets scarier, and you get real close to that net. When you let it drop that low, it's a little bit risky, and you can see it right there. I like the boost Redesno's giving Cruz and Redesno right now. I feel a little bit of energy from her, and I feel like she's gaining some confidence.
You said earlier, Patty, there's no quitting anybody here. I mean, it's 5-1 and 15-30, but Nobody's going anywhere. They're going to battle it out. That's what true champs do.
Yeah, and they got a couple loose errors from Anika earlier. You know, just a little bit ago, a couple minutes ago, and I think that's. I think it's silly to lob Nicolescu and miss wide when you can just hit over to Anika, and I think they just have to remember that. Nicolescu's hurting them, Anika not so much on the overheads.
Yep. A great forehand, great volley. Just such great hands up there.
Yeah, I'd love to see
So
Rodezno
solid.
almost follow in and just stay forward, maybe pick that ball off out of the air, because they need to find some creative ways to come up with some offense.
You mean commit to it, right, Patty? You hit it and just keep going for it.
Yep, one thing is to show their pressure inching in from the baseline. Another thing is to commit to that positioning, go forward. Good hands from Anika right there.
Sure was. The crowd is out there clapping. It's a big point. Great point.
Match point on Roxy Anika's paddle. Trouble.
Yeah, it's trouble. Well, congratulations. That was a great match. A lot of momentum.
Yeah, thanks to the umpire, Fred Willard, and you just heard that score, 6-1, dominant third set there from Roxy Anika and Nicolescu to earn a berth in the finals against Flor Hanisch and Anna Zabori. And do we have the time for that final on your end, Mo?
Are we thinking about an hour from now for the time, right? Yeah.
Okay, an hour from now, and Hanisch Zabori came through in their match decisively over Morgan and Sakura. And the finals are top two teams in the country by rankings, and we're going to wrap it up here, Mo. Thanks so much. Great job on this match.
Thank you, Patty.
And
It's great.
we will see all the viewers again in an hour for the women's finals.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.